Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel and my craft table. Today I get to unbox something that I've been so excited about. This is the brand new Scrapbook craft mat from Glassboard Studio. Now if you're a scrapbooker, a mixed media content creator, or you just love having a bright, clean work surface for your crafts, this is such a treat. So I'm going to go ahead and open this with you, and then I'm going to show you all of the features that this new craft mat has to offer. Okay, here we go. So first things first, Glassboard Studio always packages their products really well. And so you can expect a very secure delivery of your product, and it does come UPS. It has these really big pieces of styrofoam that just nestle around the perimeter of your glassboard. So it also has one on top, just another thick piece of styrofoam like this. And of course it has the handle with care and a glass sticker here. Let me go ahead and get this out of the box and we'll go ahead and take a look at all the features. Okay, first let's just take a look at how beautiful this is, and I'll explain all of the lines and diagonals that you see on here in just a moment. But first I want you to see how beautiful this true white background is. This is just really gorgeous. It is so clean, so bright. Thank you, Glassboard Studio, for sending this over to me to showcase here in my craft room. I know that I'm going to absolutely love this for so many years. All right, so this mat is 26 inches wide by 14 inches this way, I guess you could say deep. If you're like me, you like to have a large surface for working, so size is really everything. This is the difference between my current Glassboard Studio craft mat. This is their magnetic one that is 18 wide by 13.5 this way. Love this mat so much. But look how much bigger this is. This is a huge game changer. Okay, so let's get into the features. First things first, it has a bunch of lines. It has 1-inch markings, and then these smaller lines are quarters and the tiny lines are 1/16. You have 3 diagonal lines coming this way. This is 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. I'm gonna remove this. It just tells you about your mat and has some more information about the care. So this corner here again has 30, 45, and 60. We have 2 45-degree lines here that are perpendicular. We've got a whole bunch of different measurements here. So this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 landscape and vertical. So this would be for your card making. We've got a 4 1/2 by 6 1/4, a set of 5 by 7, 3 1/2 by 8 1/2. So like a slim line. So if you're a card maker like me, this is great to have. Over here, you have some more measurements. So you got a 2 by 2, 3 by 4, a 4 by 4, 4 by 6, and a 5 by 7. This new Scrapbook craft mat is magnetic, just like my other one. So I can just place my pond magnets here. These are the magnetic trays for your inks. So I can place those on there, and these don't move around. Also, these are these craft catchers. They kind of just go underneath the rim of your glass mat. And they're great because they catch all of your supplies, or they catch little scrap pieces, etc. And they do have the funnel, so you can funnel things back in. Another feature is the surface and the durability. So this is tempered glass. It is scratch resistant. Now that doesn't mean it's scratch proof, but it's definitely sturdy enough to handle some light pressure cutting, especially if you can't find your self-healing cutting mat or you don't have it nearby. This is my True Control knife. I can just place this wherever I need it. Then I can use relatively light pressure, just enough to cut through the paper, but not so much that I'm digging into the surface. And then I get a nice smooth cut with my craft knife. So as long as you're not pressing super, super hard, this mat can handle your cuts beautifully. Another thing that I love about these craft mats is the fact that they are mixed media friendly. I can put messy stuff all over here and then it just cleans up beautifully. I'm gonna take some ink and just smush it on my glass mat and then do some watercoloring and get all my watercolors here on the glass mat. I can also use like my distressed ink. Okay, so I can just pour some of that on there. There we go. So we can spray some of that on there, especially when you're doing like a splatter technique. And then here I just have some hero paste. This is from Hero Arts. And if I'm doing a stencil overlay or some kind of texture, okay, then putting this here on the glass mat. All of these easy cleanup. I'm just gonna grab a baby wipe here. You can also use the rubbing alcohol. So you could spray your rubbing alcohol on your mat, or you could just use the baby wipe. Really doesn't matter. And you literally can just wipe away all of the mess and then dry that off. No residue, no staining. It's just beautiful. Okay, so I have two 12 by 12 sheets of paper. This is just mixed media paper from scrapbook.com. And then this is just a piece of scrapbook paper. And you can see how gorgeous. So if you're a scrapbooker, this is definitely a game changer. You can have your left side and your right side all laid out at the same time instead of having just to do one or the other. And when I used to do scrapbooking so long ago, that was kind of always an issue for me, is that I didn't have the space for having a side-by-side layout like I do now. This is fantastic. All right, friends, now here's the fun part. This scrapbook craft mat officially is launching November 18th, and I have a special code where you can get this for 20% off on November 18th and 19th. And I'll be sticking a link down in my description below, and you can just use the code JenniLynn, that will also be in the description below, to enjoy 20% off of your order. I just love when brands support the crafting community with discounts during their launches, so definitely take advantage while this is available. I'm going to be putting together a Christmas wish list for crafters. So if you are someone who is in the market to let your significant other or let Santa know what you'd like for the holidays, or maybe you're looking for gifts for crafters in your life, definitely come back and check out the Christmas wish list for crafters that will be coming soon. All right, let's go ahead and do that quick craft that I promised you. So let me quickly grab those materials and then we'll start crafting. All right, let's go ahead and get into the craft that I promised you. I'm super excited about this. It's my last fall craft of the 2025 season. So I just have this grapevine wreath. I've actually had this for years. It's seen better days. I thought it'd be fun to put this seed garland. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and I just thought it'd be a great way to jazz it up. I've got a plaid ribbon. This is from Joanne, so I got that right before they closed. And then I have some of these little fall embellishments from Hobby Lobby. So let's go ahead and get this going. I'm just going to take the seed garland. Now this is like 30 feet, and I thought that would be perfect for literally wrapping the entire grapevine wreath with this little overlay of this seed garland. And what I really like about it is that I don't have to hot glue it down onto the wreath. I can just wrap it all the way around, and it's going to go around the grapevine wreath about twice, like all the way around. That is a lot of this fall seed garland. So I'm super excited that it's going to dress this up. And what I especially love is the fact that I don't have to hot glue it down. Just wrapping it around, it's kind of attaching itself to the grapevine wreath. I'm not even going to have to tie it off or glue it down when I'm finished. It is such a low commitment way to repurpose something that is already in my stash. And I love the contrast of the orange and white little seed beads that, I guess they're not really beads, but these little seeds against the grapevine. So this is going to turn out so good. And it actually is relatively easy just to get it all wrapped around. All right, so now we're coming to the end, and I'm just going to tuck that right in there. And doesn't that look so good? I'm really loving that. That came out way better than I expected. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at these embellishments. I'm going to grab my Cricut weeding tool. Now these are just these little, they're like little fall leaves. They're laser cut and then colored, so I actually don't even have to paint them or color them in any way. I thought that would be perfect. I saw those, and actually those were kind of the inspiration for this wreath, to be honest with you. And they have different colors, different sizes and styles. And then I always think of sunflowers as spring/summer, but these are so cute, and they were definitely out during fall. They're just mini little sunflower embellishments. They're fabric-y, and the the backing is real easy just to put some hot glue on. And before I do anything, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll out some of this ribbon. And what I want to do is create like a little hanger. So I'm just going to kind of measure off a good length of the ribbon. And I'm going to be creating a loop that my wreath just hangs inside the loop. And I thought that would be really easy. So I'll set that aside for right now. Okay. Now I have my hot glue gun here, and the first thing that I want to do is figure out where am I going to put this ribbon. I'm not going to necessarily glue it down to the grapevine wreath. I'm actually just going to create a loop, and I cannot find my little finger protectors. So I'm just going to keep a piece of paper on top of my fingers so that I can glue the ends of the ribbon together, kind of smush that in there without burning myself too much. And then that will just kind of sit up there. It's kind of like a little spot where I want it to be. I'm going to kind of get that out of the way. And then, let's see, I'm just basically going to go around this grapevine wreath. I'm going to start with all of my little sunflowers. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on each of the flowers. And I think for these, I'm going to place them on that tiny little seed garland that I wrapped around. So again, low commitment. I want to be able to undo this craft if I choose. I really could use a new grapevine wreath. I think I've had this one for probably 15 years. My husband and I have been married that long. So I bought it shortly after we got together, and I literally have just used it for just about everything. So it's seen better days, but I thought if I put the sunflowers on the garland, then I can reuse this for another time. All right, now for these leaves. So there is definitely a front and a back, and they're already colored for us. I'm just going to put some hot glue on the back, and I'm going to push these down onto the wreath. Now, unfortunately, because of the weight and the size of these leaves, I'm actually going to have to adhere some of them to the grapevine wreath itself. But that's okay. I think that they'll come up. I'm not going to use so much hot glue that I couldn't probably pry them up. So if I start to take them up and it looks like it's destroying the grapevine wreath, then I'll just go ahead, pop it right back into place with some hot glue, and then I will get a new grapevine wreath for future. And I'm also thinking about creating some other wreath forms. I know you can get the metal ones, You can get the styrofoam ones. You can really just create a wreath out of any kind of base material that would be sturdy enough to hold what other kind of decor that you have. And I've even seen here lately on all over YouTube and Instagram, just creators so creative. I cannot get over it. They are taking pizza pans and turning them into door round, those little door decor rounds that we all do. And I know I've done lots of those on my channel, but I just use the wood rounds that you can get like at Hobby Lobby in a big pack or even the Dollar Tree. So I'll have to investigate some of that. But again, I'm just going around the wreath and I'm trying to evenly disperse things by color. Not necessarily size or shape, because, you know, nature is, you know, perfect in its own way and it's just kind of random. But I thought maybe just making sure that the colors were evenly dispersed would be more pleasing visually. And this is actually going rather quickly, and these are sticking quite well. So I'm pretty pleased at how this is coming out. Okay, I think that's plenty. I don't think I need to add any more leaves. I don't think I do. This actually looks really good, and this is turning out way better than I actually envisioned in my mind. So let's see here. Actually, I think what I'm going to do now is take a little bit of hot glue and put it on the back of the ribbon, kind of in between the layers of the ribbon, just to make sure that that ribbon doesn't move around too much. So I'm just gluing it to itself. It's not being glued onto the wreath at all. Okay, we'll move those out of the way. This looks so good. I cannot get over it. And then right now I'm just picking it up, making sure that there's no leaves that are falling off, because that would kind of be a little sad if all of my leaves fell off after I put it on my door. I live in a super, super windy environment up here in my little Pacific Northwest area. So everything has to be nice and secure. Now I'm just going to trim off 2 lengths of ribbon, and then I'm going to trim off a shorter piece of ribbon, and we're going to make a little bow. And as I get this put together, then I'm going to glue it on top of the ribbon that is already there, and it'll make a little bow. So I'm going to take this shorter piece, I'm going to fold it in on itself. Now this is wired ribbon, so that actually kind of helps get a little bit of that. Look, that hot glue just popped right off of this glass mat. I just love that. All right, so with the ribbon, I'm going to fold it into thirds and just glue it onto itself. And again, I'm really trying not to burn my fingers here, but you're going to see throughout this section of the video where I'm constantly having to pull hot glue off of my fingers. So if you have a chance to pick up those finger protectors, I highly encourage you to do so. And I think I need to find some more myself. I used to have some, but I have no idea where they went. Okay, so now I'm going to, basically with these big ones, I'm just going to make 2 loops, just like I did before around the wreath. And I'm going to be hot gluing the ends together. So I'm just folding these over, kind of working the ribbon, getting it the way I want. And the fact that it's wire is very handy, so it kind of helps keep everything where I want it. I do think I want one of the ribbons shorter than the other, so I'm going to cut off a couple of inches here. So this loop in particular will be smaller than the loop that you see at the top of the screen there. And getting that all glued together, so a little line of glue, and then put that down. I'm trying to have my glass mat help me. It's such a cool surface, like cool temperature wise, so it really cools down your vinyl and your hot glue kind of immediately, really. So this is about 10 inches wide, that loop there. Now we'll do the same thing with this one. I'm just gonna, actually, let me grab this glue stick. I'm gonna use it to press down because my fingers are so sore right now from all of this hot glue. I'm gonna open this back up, keep it from sticking to itself. It's about 12 inches. So I have a 12-inch loop and I have a 10-inch loop, and I'm gonna lay them on top of each other, 10 inches on top. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this glue off of my fingers. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinch these ribbons together. So I'm kind of making like, almost like a W, so to speak. So the middle part is like a mountain, and then I've got two little valleys in the ends of the ribbon. And I'm gonna put a little bit of hot glue and lay that long strip down, the one that I folded in thirds. And I'm going to hold that until the glue sets a little bit. And then I'm just gonna wrap this long piece around the middle, and I'm gonna go around twice. And then I'm gonna take my scissors and cut off any excess that I don't think I need. Add some hot glue here, and then hold down the middle. And this is going to basically cinch my bow and be the little middle piece. And it looks so cute. All right, that looks great. Okay, now I just have a little bit of hot glue on my mat. So I'm actually just taking my Cricut scraper and I'm just scraping it away. And next thing I know, there is no more hot glue on the surface of this mat, no residue, it just came right up. And then when I'm all done crafting, I'll go ahead and clean my desk and wipe down the glass mat, etc. All right, now I'm gonna take the longer loop and I'm gonna fluff that out, but I'm gonna pull it down at the same time, and I'm gonna fluff up the shorter loop and kind of angle that up a little bit. So it just has a slight offset. It's not like, you know, majorly offset. And then I'm going to be gluing this right up here at the top, just like that. And put a little bit of hot glue on the back. Then I'm going to stick it down on top of the ribbon. So this is going to be the rest of my bow. And I'm super glad this is working. So easy. Like you don't even have to know how to tie a bow. This is just super easy. I'm going to do a quick little vacuum here. Get up some of that hot glue pieces. I love this little desktop vacuum. So if you've seen one of my previous Amazon hauls, you know exactly how much I love my little lovely vacuum. Okay, so finally I want to do some embellishments here in the middle of my bow. So I'm taking two different leaves that I thought would be nice together, and I'm gluing them on top of that middle square of my bow. And I'm just going to put those down there like that, let them hold for a minute. And then I'm going to add two little sunflowers right there. It just kind of dresses up that middle, gives it something. It just needed like a little bitty pop. And then look at that. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. Y'all, I just can't. This is so cute. I just love this. So this is fantastic. It's super easy, came out great. I absolutely love it. You should definitely try this if you have some kind of wreath you want to redo. But there we go. This looks super great, and I'm super happy with how it came out. All right, my friends, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. This craft came out so good. Once again, thank you to Glassboard Studio for sending me this craft mat to try out. I absolutely love it. I think this is a super awesome addition to any craft room. So don't forget, check out my link below in the description and use code JenniLynn for 20% off. And I just know that you're going to love any of their Glassboard Studio craft mats. All right, well, until I see you in the next Carter craft, don't forget we have Christmas coming up soon. And until I see you then in the next Carter craft, as always, have an amazing day and happy crafting.
Thank you all so much for watching today. I'm so glad that you can join me at my craft table. If you're not already, I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when new videos arrive. Have a great day, and as always, happy crafting.